and welcome to Brands Hatch for the final round. The decider kicks off here in the MOTO Ride 6 Championship, and it is this man on screen, Ducksworth, versus now this man on screen, Henry Mack, for the title. 3 points separate them going into the sprint race just after this qualifying session. We were a little bit late to start just because we were getting some special things ready for the champion, but yeah, it is going to be an incredible one. Once again, I've got Jack Hammer joining me in the commentary box. It's been a while since he's been with us, but thankfully he's been able to make it for what promises to be an incredible finale to this one. Who do you think is going to take it?
Based on the bike and the fact I know this player has done more practice than the other, I'll be inclined to go Ducksworth. He's currently leading the session by just over a tenth of a Henry Mack, but honestly, I won't be surprised if these two are first and second on the grid for both races, well, for at least the first race, and it'll come down to who makes the least mistakes. So I'll go with Ducksworth, but I'm definitely not putting. I wouldn't put all my eggs in the basket. I'd want to go 50-50 if I could.
I mean, yeah, for sure, especially after Ducksworth's previous. No, sorry, not Ducksworth. Henry Mack's previous round at Cadwell Park. Absolute domination. Did the double in the sprint race. So on form at the moment. But yeah, that Yamaha does not seem like the bike of choice on the Superbikes as Ducksworth goes down into turn 1. He's currently at the top of the session with a 22.6, and Henry Mack is only less than is exactly a tenth of a second behind. So they are the top two men here. But you do question how he's going to get on with that Yamaha. Alfie Cox has unfortunately missed a few too many rounds in the last couple, and I don't think he's not even within a chance of the championship anymore. Charlie's looking up in fourth at the moment, 23.6 from him. But yeah, Alfie Cox, actually, he's done a really good lap. All the top three separated by less than a tenth, so that's pretty good. Just over a tenth, sorry. And you got Irvin in fifth. He's going to lagging his way around the South African on the malted BMW M1000RR as Joe comes up the inside. Mason's also there on the HM Plant Honda. That looks absolutely brilliant. The Honda seems like the bike to be on, bar the BMW. So watch out for Mason. He's looking to chase down fourth in the championship after missing round 1. He had a pretty decent round last time at Cadwell Park. He was on the ZX6R. And he was quite fast. Just had some unfortunate moments, which may have been me cursing him.
Who's on? Who's it? Is it Tyler who's on the Kawasaki?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. Oh,
I was very surprised when I heard that.
Just caught him.
Whoa, that's a big high side out of Surtees, copying Graham Irwin from a few years ago.
Yeah, that was massive.
Same bike. And yep, high side straight out of Surtees. Easy thing to do because it's a bit of a first, second gear corner. If you're a bit too aggressive on the throttle, the bike with 200 plus horsepower will send you to the moon. And Tyler's just experienced as he slides a lot down Paddock Hill Bend going up the hill towards Druids. So the front end's going to protest and lose it just like that. Yeah,
he's really having a hard time there. And don't go for that front wheel. Don't believe that like it's real life. It's just Rad 6 lag turning the complete opposite way. He's not drifting around the entire last corner, I can assure that. But he nearly drifted out of that one. Oh, down Paddock Hill Bend. That Kawasaki ZX10R is all over the place. Clean having a real hard time keeping that bike under control. Joe's also on a ZX10, and he's also proving the hardships of riding the Kawasaki. Harrison, Henry's teammate for this round and fellow British Challenge Cup rider. An absolutely fantastic performance from him to top the second session on the Saturday of the BSB Donington Park test. A really strong showing from the young Englishman. But yeah, on the Yamaha here in Ride 6, not really showing the same pace he did at Donington Park on the Talent Cup bike. He's just not really been that far at the front, and I can't see that Yamaha helping him get any further.
Yeah, I mean, him and Henry are teammates. I'm sure that Harrison loved beating Henry in the test, but maybe Henry will be able. He's obviously going to beat him in the Ride 6 multi-bike championship, which is obviously a lot more important than a British Talent Cup test.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, the R1, I was surprised when I found out they're on the R1 because, you know, if it's BSB spec, no TC, no anti-wheelie, with the smaller engine and the more side grip, you'd think it'd work well, especially here in the back section of the circuits Harrison is in now. But the BMW is probably the best or the second best superbike you can ride on between that and the Ducati. So big wheelie, and that's part of it. You know, they've got the wings, so the front wheel is a bit more planted than any of the other bikes, and the Yamaha just wants to wheelie all over the place. But I think the BMW can turn quite well as Harrison hits the curb into Sterling's and loses the front and is off the bike and just gets out the way of one of the BMWs there. I think that might have been Ducksworth, actually.
Yeah, I think so. Because we're just waiting for some more laps to come through. Finley also on the Yamaha. So the Yamaha seeming to be quite a popular choice despite its widely known inconsistencies. I think we are struggling with a bit of lag today. But Charlie on the BMW, I think still struggling with that broken collarbone. Definitely won't affect, yeah. Definitely won't affect him as much in the game as it would real life, but it still makes a difference.
I think we're going to be seeing a lot of front end tucks into Druids during the races because we've seen that for about 5 times already. And Ducksworth clips the grass going into Dingledale in the Sheen curve. And that's his lap over. Has he improved? Yes, he has. He's gone to a 22.3, and Coxey's got in front of Henry Mack. So Henry not second on the grid anymore. Still on the front row though.
Yeah, good job from Alfie, and as I predicted, definitely would be the man to split this battle. Currently repping the George Wood colours. I'm sure George is watching this. Very proud of his man at the moment. I didn't know he started running a team here, but turned up to Cador Park last week and took second in the sprint. He's been rather not just a wild card in the race in terms of how he attends the races, it's just how he's been riding the races. I mean, put Henry through the grass into the chicane. Yeah, really aggressive racing from George over the season, but he's unfortunately not been able to make this one, but at least his bike has. In piloting it is the man currently third in the championship, Alfie Cox, and at the moment he is just about 0.2 off of Ducksworth, splitting this trio. And just as I see it, George Wood messaging me, probably thanking me for the shout out as Henry Mack comes around Graham Hill Bend.
Also, I believe George was at Donington Test. He would have taken photos of the likes of Henry and Harrison. I've definitely seen them watch Henry through the fog yeses.
Yeah, it was there on Friday. It looks like Irvin's just got into second place. A good job from the South African, doing a 22.4 on the malted BMW.
So the BMW is a BMW 123. So Henry in fourth. He's got a task on his hands, but you know, qualifying's one thing, racing is another, and it is just going to come down between these two. It's 2 points separates them going into this final 2 races, and it is just going to come down to who stays on the bike really. And Henry's currently 3 tenths down. He's running soft, whereas I don't know what Ducksworth is running. I know Alfie was running hard soft. Oh. But and Henry's lost the front. He's done a Taron McKenzie. I mean, a lot of people have crashed there, but Taron did crash there on the Yamaha 6 years ago, or 7 years ago as it will be in June time.
Yeah, Alfie Cox moves back up into second on a 22.4. So really close to Ducksworth here, who seems to be the man on form. The championship leader by 3 points. And of course we use the MOTO GP point system. So it's not all a big difference when you've got a sprint and main race coming your way. As we're going to go on board with Alfie. He goes down the straight, chasing down Irvin. Now we've had a bit of a glitch there. Fix that.
1 minute left, so 1 minute 50 really.
And Alfie is up. Alfie might just be able to snatch pole position and really throw a spanner in the works here. Henry needs every position he can get on that R1. I mean, he's got 2 BMWs in front of him, splitting him and Ducksworth. If he's a row behind... down goes Alfie. Oh. That, I
The back
think,
end
was
is
Henry's
so
chance
difficult.
to get closer to Ducksworth, but he might just have one here. You can see how much that R1's moving around on the brakes into Druids. It's done a 22.6, and he's got to find a good chunk of time to close. He's not too far off in Sector 1 as he goes onto the green. Harrison's in the way, well, not in the way, but on track, just staying out of the way of his teammate, who we're on board with. The man second in the championship. He's got work to do here as he comes down the straight, under the hill. Let's see what he's got. He's lost more time. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. He's going to have to be an absolute magician to find even more time to get back onto that front row in these last two sectors. And this is probably where the Yamaha will do best. Down through Dingle Dell. Oh, Talian's on the inside. That might have just taken his eye off the game through Sheen Curve. And he has lost more time through Sterling's. I don't think it's going to be an improvement for Henry Mack. He's going to have to settle for fourth on the grid. But don't forget that it is random grid for the main race as he goes through Clark Curve. Nicely done there, but still not going to be enough. As he goes on the grass, it's definitely not going to be an improvement for the man second in the championship. It's a disappointing qualifying, you'd have to feel, for Henry Mack, lining up fourth on that R1, already probably rethinking his choice of machinery.
Yeah, I mean, when you've got three BMWs on the front row, and they've only missed out. He's only missed out by just over 2/10. Oh, yeah, just over 2/10 on pole. And maybe it could be the soft front as well. If he goes for the hard front, well, he must have tested both, but the front end might be a bit of a problem as well.
Yeah, I mean, Mason doing a good job at there as well, in fifth on the Honda CBR. A strong lap from him. Charlie sixth on the BMW. Finley Cottenham on the R1 in seventh, just beating the last R1 of Harrison in eighth, and then pretty much everyone else is on Kawasaki's. Alright then, it is time for the sprint race. 3 points is the gap between Henry and Ducksworth. Ducksworth leads by 3 points. This is where things get really intense. I'm going to have to pull up the MotoGP sprint point system just to remind myself.
If Henry wins, he goes into the championship lead. It's that simple.
Yeah.
We'll go. That's the simplest it can get, so we'll follow that. But
because I know it's
12 for a win, 9 for
9.
second, 7 for third.
Yeah.
Then it's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 all the way down to 9th.
Yeah, so it'll be tied if Henry wins from Ducksworth in second. Which is a bit of an ask, but if we've seen anything from Henry, is that he can adapt to situations so far this season. If it ends up getting drawn on points to the end of it, it will go to Henry. Ducksworth has only claimed 2 victories, one at the Blue Wave Stadium, and one... Where else did he win? Oh dear. Oh, the Southern 100, I believe. Or somewhere else. I can't. He definitely won another race at some point, but he won at Blue Wave Stadium. Here we go then. Enough about my awful remembrance of the season so far. Ducksworth lines up on pole for the final sprint race of the season, and we go racing. The BMW trio at the front get away more than well. Henry Mack has got away awfully. He's dropped to 7th, and he's getting barged up the inside into turn 1. Henry has been absolutely jumped down into turn 1, and somehow Charlie's into the lead. Ducksworth's into 3rd. He's just playing it cool. But Charlie up the inside of Irvin. What a start for the Manxman as he's all over the back of the South African. What a brilliant launch. And it is once again a BMW 123. Henry Max into 7th. He's been pushed out wide by one of the Hondas. I think it was Mason. Might have just pushed him out wide a little bit. He's dropped back to 8th now. This was really, really bad news for him. But look at the BMWs chopping and changing at the front. Irvin's lagging his way to the lead on the multi BMW. This is not good. This could end in tears for everybody else following the South African as they head through Hawthorns, and up the inside comes Ducksworth into 2nd place. These 3 battling out at the front, helping out Henry. Here comes Ducksworth. Oh my goodness, through Dingle Dell. That's a lovely move. Can Charlie cut back up the inside? Here he comes. Oh no! He's pushed Ducksworth onto the grass, and he's stopped in the middle of the track to let him back through. And Irvin's out wide. Mason's through. What's just happened? Ducksworth is into the lead.
With lead.
Yeah. the Ducksworth's leading now because, oh my goodness, Charlie pushed him out wide, so Charlie slowed down to let him back through. Irvin went into the grass, Mason came through briefly, then Ducksworth punted him out the way. How's it ended up like this? Now Tleon's up to 4th with Henry Mack behind. How is it unfolded like this in the sprint race? Henry Mack realistically can't afford any points gain. I'd say bar maybe 2-3 points maximum. At this point, he's going to lose a really big chunk of points. He's going to lose 7 points on Ducksworth if it stays like this with 4 laps to go.
He's got task on his hands because overtaking in a straight line is going to be his biggest problem. He can't just slip him and go alongside people as he goes onto the grass. There's a massive slide over Surtees. That's affected his drive down the back straight, heading towards Pilgrim Shop and Hawthorns. And I think the pressure's just mounting as he knows what the situation is, but it's down to Ducksworth. Ducksworth's in the prime position. He's just got to he doesn't have to take too much risk at this stage. He just needs to bring the bike home in 1st or 2nd place, and the championship's his with one hand.
Yeah, Tleon going onto the grass on the outside here. He should be able to make quick work of these Kawasaki's as he goes through on one of them into Tleon and goes left now into Sterling. Someone in the wall there, Irvin, I think, who's just given up on the race due to his lag maybe. And now he's chasing down Joe Hines in 3rd place. This is a decent recovery from Henry if he's able to get onto the podium here. Ducksworth's crashed! Ducksworth's lost the rear, I think, on the straight. Oh, dearie me, big drama as he drops to 5th place. Mason Roth now leads on the HM Plant Honda. Whoa, big moments of drama as now Henry goes darting to the inside, and quickly the pendulum falls in Henry's favour as he battles for 3rd place with Joe. Oh, no, sorry, 2nd place. Coming out of Graham Hill Bend. That got close between the R1 and the ZX10. Joe really doing well to outperform his own machine.
Just like that, Henry Mack has gone from being a good 8 or 9 points behind in the championship to now leading the championship on live standings. How things can change so quickly.
Yeah, at this point he'll be scoring 9 points from this race, and Ducksworth, he's now dropped to 6th, scoring 4. So it'll be, excuse my maths, a 5-point lead for Henry, I think. Someone else has gone down. Mason's gone down out the lead, and now that puts Henry Mack into the lead. Who would have thought? Less than a lap ago, he was in 4th place. Mason Roth. I didn't say anything about him, and he still managed to crash. He was telling me last week I should stop talking about him and stop cursing him, but I did nothing more than say he was in the lead, and he still went down. It's going wrong, really wrong, for Mason James Allen Rotheray, as Alfie Cox has made his way up into 2nd, looking to impose some sort of threat on Henry Mack, his former championship rival. Unfortunately not anymore, since he couldn't compete last time out at Cadwell Park. Qualified in front of the man 2nd in the championship going into this race, so should be quite confident to catch him in this one with 2.5 laps to go. He's done a 22.8 and Henry's done a 23.3, sorry. So Alfie on an absolute roll here, and I'll give it to Joe. He's doing a really good job to keep that Kawasaki in 3rd, just losing a lot of time to Henry and Alfie in front. But after all, they are the top 3 in the championship. Not many would catch up on the best of machinery, and he's doing a good job on arguably the worst. And that's coming from a Kawasaki fan.
It's Kawasaki are a bit behind the ball at the stage, but they're not too far behind. But it's now Henry's in a bit predicted. Now it is Henry's home track. He lives about 5-10 minutes away, so he's going to want to win this at all costs. Being Kent being his hometown. But does he take the smart option, and maybe if Alfie is going to be within overtaking range, which he probably will be at some point, does he just not put up that much of a fight, just let Alfie go through and pick up 2nd place? Even though he will drop a few more points, he will still lead the championship. But with just under 1 3/4 laps to go,
yeah,
Henry is definitely in a very advantageous position.
Alfie's definitely, as you said, he's got an upper hand also in the fact he knows how to fight Henry. If he watched that absolute spectacle that was round 1, he knows how to do it. And as you said earlier, Jack, straight line speed is Henry's weakness. Alfie takes advantage of it. Through he goes on the George Wood Photography BMW into the lead, and Henry tries to fight back into Westfield, can't quite do it. This is very strong, we saw through Dingledale, and he's going to go for it up the inside. No, didn't quite work. He thought about it, though. He's going to get a good run towards Sterling's. Doesn't quite find it. But he's still on the back.
So it's going to come down to the last lap.
Here we go.
Alfie's going to have more in the tank, but it's going to come down to wits with Henry. Henry's going to have to try and pull some moves to try and force Alfie into a mistake here, because I just can't see that Yamaha being fast enough to pull alongside the BMW. Although the slipstream is quite powerful, he's going to get alongside nearly into Paddock Bend.
He's gone for it up the inside. He's made the move. What a brilliant dive from Henry Mack. And we knew it was going to be an incredible battle. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Henry Mack has been ran out wide at Druids. What a block pass by Alfie Cox on the last lap. They're fighting for the championship. Don't forget, well, Henry is. And he's not backing down just yet. He wants this one. If he crashes, he could find himself behind Duxworth, who's in 4th now. Behind Joe. Here they come. Through Surtees. Up the hill. This is going to be an incredible finish. Do you think Henry will be able to take it here? He didn't quite manage to pass Alfie on the last lap, but it looks like he's really lost something there through Surtees on the exit. That BMW, sorry, has really got the exit pinned down.
It's going to come down to a mistake from Alfie here. Just a few more corners to go. I can't see Henry, unless Henry does the best last 3rd and 4th sector of his life. I can't see it going his way.
I think he's just going to take this one on the chin and have it, because either way he's leading the championship at this point, I think, or at least it might be drawn on points. And into the last corner, though. What a ride from Alfie Cox on the George Wood Photography BMW. George is going to love that one. He wins here at Brands Hatch in the sprint. What a battle to finish that sprint race, the final sprint race of the season. And what a turn of events. Joe takes home 3rd on the ZX10. A heroic ride from him. Duxworth takes home 4th. A bittersweet race. Definitely had the pace to take home the victory, but again, just more mistakes for him, getting the better of his sprint. But in the main race, you feel like he's still the favourite. Or is Alfie Cox once again going to get involved? But what a ride from Alfie. And let's hope in that main race he's really going to deliver us a show, like we've just seen here. Wow. 22.5 then from Alfie. An absolutely sublime fastest lap. Nearly half a second quicker than the rest of the field. Just proving why he's making the difference out there. Duxworth that came home 4th. And if I fully calculate now the standings between Henry and Duxworth, this should mean Henry is now 6 points. No, 6 points. I'm completely off my head here.
I'm pretty sure it's 1 point.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you are correct. 1 point. As I said, my maths really not good, especially not on the spot. And we're just going to wait now for the lobby to get organised. And I'm getting a message from Duxworth. He says, what do I need to win? What needs to happen? He is very
needs
frustrated.
To beat Henry. Very simple. Beat Henry.
Yeah, it is 1 point the difference. And last time we saw a finale that close at Brands Hatch, it was Kyle Ride versus Tommy Bridewell, and we can't wait to see the action. Hopefully we get Duxworth versus Henry to the line. I'm also being messaged by Mason. Let's see what Mason James Allen Rothery has got to say after crashing out the lead there on his HM Plant Honda. I think he took home 5th in that one. He's asking me to make him a GIF saying win a multi-moto race if you like women, and it is Mason Roth being shown. So it's interesting. In fact, he did win a race though in the sprint at Sunderland 100, so I don't know what he's talking about, but an interesting comment there from the Cumbrian.
the Henry and Ducksworth, they know the situation now. It's if they're on the podium, it's whoever beats who is champion. Will Alfie be a shaky burn in 2011, or will he be a cow ride in 2023, or will he be a Ryan Vickers maybe? Who knows? But hopefully we get a good battle between Henry and Ducksworth for the final race of the season, with 1 point between them.
For sure. Ducksworth fan club being sent in the chat. Caspar showing his love for his boyfriend. Yeah, okay then. Well, I did an actually okay lap last time when I tried it, and we're going to play as the championship leader. Or is it
Former
Henry?
championship leader.
Former championship leader. So the chaser. We're going to go with the chaser, the former pole position man. Because I just had that selected anyway. With Ducksworth. Let's just say this is with Ducksworth. And so I'm not the one doing the really slow lap. And I know Brands Hatch good enough to hopefully get a lap done through Paddock Hill Bend. I mean, Jack, you can take us through what it's like to ride here.
Yeah. Yeah, so the rear's constantly sliding, and you go into turn 2, the front end's protesting, especially if you've got no ABS, and then you've got to try and manage the throttle as the bike wants to spin, it wants to wheel as you go up the box, then back down to second gear for Graham Hill Bend. This is all about trying to get a good run through, make a good exit, manage the wheelie again. You go up to about fourth gear, maybe third if your driver isn't fantastic, or you've got a long gearbox. Into Surtees, this is a really, really long corner, late apex. Get on the fat part of the tyre, try not to have too much angle so you can keep the front end down. Hard on the gas all the way down. The R1 and the bikes that have wings will be trying to wheelie down Pilgrim's Shop into Hawthorns now. Second or third gear depending on the bike's gearbox. As you see, to get the bike sliding on the exit into Westfield. A very tricky corner because it's tight and very narrow, but once you get the corner right, you can take a lot of corner speed through Dingledale into the Sheen curve. Once again, it's all about kissing these white lines. If you touch the curb, you're on the floor. Into Stirling's, really nice banked, cambered corner. You can take a lot of corner speed through, and then over the crest as we head towards Clearways and the Clark curve for the final corner. Tipping it in, second gear. The rear end can slide, as we saw Ducksworth. It can catch you out as well if you're not careful over the bumps. Down towards the start-finish straight, across the line to set a 1:24.1. Not
my best lap, but definitely not too bad either.
If that was BSB, that would be the second fastest ever lap.
Exactly. Alright then, good enough for me, and this time, I think the first time I've done an example lap and not fallen off, and that's why I got Jack to make the example in terms of how you ride it, because he's done this lap. He owns the lap record here in Ride 6. I would have got him to record a lap beforehand, but I didn't think about this time. And let's just get a look at it from the onboard of onboard and just show you what it's like to ride Brands Hatch. Not being told to join up yet, but while we watch this, if you're Ducksworth, you've had a pretty negative race. He's looking pretty beat up right now. He's sounding pretty beat up. He messaged me saying, what do I need to do to win? And he's really seeming a bit underwhelmed right now. But he needs to stay confident if he wants to win this championship. It's only 1 point, and he's got everything to do it. The machinery, the lap time, and the talent. I mean, you're no stranger to winning championships. How does Ducksworth go about this?
Simple. You've got to forget what just happened. We've got to learn from what happened, but you've got to also forget the result. You've got to just focus on. He knows the potential of the bike, the potential of himself. He knows he's faster than Henry around here. It will. His brain's have to rack around quickly where he is on the grid and where Henry's on the grid. Once you get that, you just got to focus on yourself. Do the best job you can. Try and it's so difficult, but you got to try not to think who's where. Is there any tactics to be played? Is Henry going to ride really slow on purpose, like a Bayliss Edwards situation? You just got to focus on your own thing, go as fast as you can, and try and stay out of trouble, and just keep your head down, believe in yourself. Duckworth should know that he's faster, because he is, and it is probably due. I mean, I think if they're on the same bike, they'd be pretty equal. But because of the BMW, he's able to just get that better drive out the corners.
And from
And
sorry to interrupt you, Jack, but from our usual, oh dearie me, from our usual main race random grid procedure, Ducksworth has found himself last on the grid for the final race of the season, and we're not quite sure where Henry finds himself lined up, but that is some awful luck.
If Ducksworth is last, that's not actually. I'd say that's better than being mid-pack, because you can sit back in the first corner, let all the chaos happen in the first sector to try, so you're less likely to maybe get involved, and then once you get through, you can start picking them off. Whereas if, say, for example, we saw how good of a start he got in the actual sprint as well. So he could, if Henry's only a row in front of him, if he does get a good start and Henry has a bad start like in the sprint, he probably might be even in front of Henry by the time they get into Paddock Hill Bend. But starting at the back is probably the second best place you can be out of it. You either want to be right at the front or right at the back. You don't want to be in the middle. The middle is very chaotic because there's so many people diving and nobody knows where they're braking.
All right, then, here we go. Joe is on pole on the Kawasaki. Oh, no. Sorry, it's similar livery. It's Charlie on the BMW. Henry's on the front row, so that's big. Here we go. There's another BMW front row, and we get away. The sprint winner starts second. Ducksworth away from last. It's the final race of the season. 12 laps at Brands Hatch as Charlie goes into turn 1, down Paddock Hill Bend with a brilliant launch. Henry has dropped back a little bit to the BMWs ahead of him, just trying to keep calm and not drop the bike. Ducksworth's made his way through into 6th. A valiant start from him. Excuse the compressor turning. I'm going to go turn it off right now. Jack, carry us on.
Okay, so Henry Mack going up the inside of Elfie into Graham Hill Bend, and he moves into 2nd place. Now he's just behind Bob Rang. As we go into Surtees, Bob Rang taking a bit of a cautious line as he turned maybe a bit too early. Over the crest into Surtees, this is where we saw Henry lose point. He said he was losing about 0.2 of a second, which is not a surprise because this BMW has got so much horsepower compared to the Yamaha and got the aerodynamic wings. As we go into Hawthorns now, nice line from Bob Rang on the BMW. He is starting to pull a tiny gap. Where's Ducksworth? Ducksworth is now dropped down to 8th place. I don't know if he's gone down or he's just been shuffled back a bit, but Henry's in 2nd place. But here comes Alfie up the inside through Dingledale into the Sheen curve. Brilliant move there, and Henry's forced to concede the position, but he's still in front of Ducksworth. That's all that matters for now. But Henry, he's going to be looking, trying to just make sure he's 3 places in front of Ducksworth. There's Ducksworth just there, going into the final corner for clearways as we end lap 1 of 12. 11 laps remaining. Henry had a big wobble through the final corner. He's right behind Alfie though, so the Yamaha can take so much more corner speed because it's got such less power, so it can maybe has a bit more edge grip. But then the BMWs, but now Alfie's all over the back of Bob Rang as they go into Druids for the 2nd time. But Bob Rang closing the door, the pair of them hit the curb. Neither of them lose a friend. Ducksworth has now found himself into the top 5. Thailand has unfortunately disconnected all left the session. Down. And that now leaves Ducksworth clear air to find Henry Mack in front of who was that on? I think that was Bob Rang onto the grass into Surtees there. Now Henry Mack is going to get a double dosage of slipstream, which he definitely needs. A double dosage of slipstream just to keep him in touch with those BMWs, to drag him away from Ducksworth. As I'm pretty sure Ducksworth will start to close the gap if he can get into that good rhythm. And I think maybe Henry might have to try and find a way through now on Bob Rang, because Bob Rang is possibly a little bit slower than Henry as we go through Westfield down towards Dingledale.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like Henry's...
he's got a 2-second or so gap, so he's still got breathing room. He doesn't have to worry yet. No way to Sterling's. Okay, Sterling's is a very difficult move to make. It's a very late move, and it's a bit of a risk to take on the 2nd lap. And I'm pretty sure Ducksworth is going to... We'll see at the end of this lap where the best laps, but I'd assume Ducksworth probably closed the gap a little bit. Henry's definitely strong through clearways in the clock curve compared to the BMWs.
Yeah, for sure. Ducksworth is definitely going to just have his eye on this battle. Just try and keep cool for now, because he knows that Henry is going to be held up by Bob Rang. So he's just trying to play it cool. He's not pushing everything he's got. Someone's gone down, I think. Oh, no, sorry. I panicked a little bit there. It looks like we had a bit of lag on the map. But Henry Mack has gone through into 2nd at Druids on Bob Rang. Excuse me, I had to go for a little bit there because the compressor turned on randomly and I didn't want that interrupting the race. So Yeah, Harrison is unfortunately disconnected as his teammate is currently in second. We're going to go on board with Ducksworth, who's doing everything he can to catch that podium. Alfie is pulling away, looking to do the double for George Wood Photography. Oh, someone's in the gravel, I think. There, I think that was just a lap rider. No, it was Charlie.
Hey,
yeah, Charlie, aka
shot.
Bob Rang. He's down into fourth. Oh, dearie me. That's not good for Henry. Well, really, it's a bit of a 50-50. It promotes... Oh, Ducksworth's down! Ducksworth's down. He's taken Charlie with him. Big crash on the inside curb. That might be championship over for him as he drops to 5th place. Oh, no, behind Finley Cottenham on the Kawasaki. That is huge. Henry just has to ride to the flag now, and he's going to be world champion here in MMR6 at Brands Hatch. Your heart breaks for Ducksworth, who had the advantage going into this, who had pole position going into this. But Henry Mack has done a 22.5. He's doing some really impressive pace here on his R1M, and we may have doubted his machinery, but it's looking pretty good for him so far. Mason Roth is into 3rd on the HM Plant Honda. Ducksworth's already fighting back into 4th. Look out for Finley Cottenham on the inside, and the Kawasaki. He's going to try and nerf Ducksworth out of the way. You know, he thinks better of it and not to get involved too harshly for now. Ducksworth through Graham Hill Bend knows he's still got a chance. 1 point. It was the gap coming into the race, so it is quite literally whoever finishes in front. As he makes his way through Surtees and up the hill, he's got a really big job to do if he wants to still win this title. His hope lies on Alfie maintaining the lead of this race and Mason possibly closing the gap on Henry, but he can't really see that happening with the pace Henry's running right now.
Henry's just got to click the laps off. He
Oh dear, oh dear,
Big,
oh dear. Oh no.
Henry is lagging. This is what cost him in the Super 100.
No.
Let's just hope that everything stays stable. He has got a big enough gap between first and first and third to not affect things, but hopefully his connection can hold out for another 8 laps.
This is bad. This is bad. We don't want to see lag decide in the championship. Not today. As he makes his way through Paddock Hill Bend, lagging. Does he know he's lagging? Oh boy.
He's lucky in the position he's in because he's not in a place where he can probably affect anybody.
For now, yeah. Just gonna have to. Oh no. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. I'd hate to have to disqualify him for this one. I mean, I can't do it mid-race, but the usual protocol is if someone is lagging this bad, it is affecting the other riders' races, and they will be disqualified. And usually in MotoGP that can happen like that, but we don't have a race director mode yet in Ride 6, and we can't do that just yet. But we'll have to see if it does affect anyone else, so we can't really do much from here in the commentary box. It is only a shame, and it looks like Ducksworth is closing the gap to Mason, but does he know about Henry's internet ahead? Does he want to get close to Henry at this stage? I wouldn't.
Ducksworth is taking lots of risks running curves. I mean, that's what cost him that's what caused him to crash earlier. So I'm really surprised he's taking so much curb in places. But yeah, it's still not over for Ducksworth. We've seen lag in the Southern 100. We've seen lag spikes in Laguna. So lag has come into these races before. Let's just hope that lag isn't the reason what someone becomes champion.
Yeah, and Mason making his own to Paddock Hill Bend, losing a lot of time to Ducksworth. He's just done a 22.8 on the lap prior, and he's done a 23.3 there, compared to Henry, who's just slapped in a 22.9 and a 23.2 before that. So pretty evenly staged pace at the moment. Evenly staged pace that Ducksworth can't afford to be running if he wants to win this championship. He can't catch Henry at this point. He needs a mistake from Henry, and Henry's just, well, I would have said he's playing it cool, but 22.9 seems to be quite fast.
It's better at this stage. It's better to ride at your pace than to ride careful, because that's when that is weirdly enough. That's where you can start making mistakes. You've got to keep riding at your own pace that you're comfortable at. Yeah,
100%. And now, with halfway through the race, Ducksworth really trying to close that gap. Mason lapping about half a second a lap slower at this point, and it looks like Henry's lag may have just settled a little bit. It looks maybe someone just downloading an app onto their phone in his house and taking a little bit more. Oh, and just as I say that, a bit more of a moment there for that Rizoma malted Yamaha. But Alfie Cox, we haven't really spoken much about him, just because of the championship fight. But what a performance, a 22-1. Absolutely fantastic lap time from him on the M1000RR. Beautifully fast. And, of course, may have just taken advantage of the championship situation. But nonetheless, incredible lap times on that George Wood Photography BMW. And absolutely sublime so far. Unbeaten in the sprint. An incredible battle with Henry, managed to hold him back, which he failed to do at the start of the season at Donington Park on the ZX4Rs. And this time showing us why that if he was able to make that last round at Caldwell Park, he would be in this title fight at Brands. It's such a shame because we could have been seeing a 3-rider fight for the championship. But now look at the gap between Mason and Ducksworth. Mason would probably preferably rather not get in Ducksworth's way as Ducksworth goes through Sheen Curve. Mason's on the grass, and I think he's just going to let Ducksworth go by, try not to get involved and put his HM Plant Honda into the back of Ducksworth's Ugly and Co BMW. That was risky there on the outside curb, just jumped over onto the grass. He's done a 22.7 on that lap, Ducksworth, so he's still asking a lot of that BMW. Henry Mack makes his way down into Paddock Hill Bend, and we're going to pay some more attention to the rest of the race. Bob Rang in 5th place has just done a 23.7, lost a bit of time there on his previous best. Irvin in 6th, clearly not lapping as well as he was in the sprint. Finley Cottenham, the Kawasaki's struggling big time there. 7th, no sorry, Finley's on the R1. Yeah, Joe on the Kawasaki and Ben on the R1. I think we've lost Leon. We're just waiting and keeping an eye on that gap. At the moment, the fastest lap between the two, Henry is quicker, but Ducksworth doing all he can to close the gap. Realistically, you don't feel like it's going to happen. Ducksworth's just done a 23.2. Henry's last lap was a 23.1. It doesn't look like Henry's pace is slowing, but does that mean we could see a mistake from Henry? It's rare we see Henry crash. We would tend to see Ducksworth crash more, and that's what we've seen this weekend. Henry's very consistent, but anything can happen.
I did say it would come down to he who crashed the least and made the least amount of mistakes, and that's been Henry. He's kept his powder dry. He's kept it on the. He's currently kept it on both wheels as we approach the final quarter or final third, sorry, of this race. Henry is just doing what I'd be doing, just keeping at his own pace. There's no reason to take any sort of risk at going slow because you can just turn a bit too early or a bit too late, and there's so many small things that can change just because you're going that tiny bit slower. So he's just got to keep doing what he's doing, clicking away. He's keeping like an 8 or so second gap to Ducksworth. It's not really changing. It's maybe yo-yoing lap to lap, a tenth here, a tenth back, but Henry's got just 3.5 laps to go before he is champion.
Yeah, and realistically, if he crashed, I mean, he'd probably still have enough time to get back up in front of Ducksworth. So he's probably got a really safe barrier here. Yeah, of course. It
depends where. If he crashed at Hawthorne, for example, then that's gonna be a long day for him. But if he crashed somewhere like Druids, you wouldn't have to worry too much.
Alright then, Alfie leads us into the 10th of 12 laps. And from start to finish, it's looked very impressive. Ducksworth, without a doubt, going to be blaming his bad luck of starting at the back of the grid. But definitely, that crash with Charlie definitely cost him. Oh, goodness. He's going to be kicking himself for that. And he's done a 22.4. A really good lap from Ducksworth. Second fastest man in the race, but fastest man on track at the moment. Henry Mack probably just tuning it back a little bit. He was 9/10 slower than Ducksworth on that lap. Ducksworth probably just getting a little bit of a carrot dangled there, just seeing that 9/10 gap close and trying to put the pressure on. But at this point, it's not going to happen. It just can't. He needs a mistake from Henry, and a big one at that. If he wants to win this championship, he's going to be so upset with himself for that crash with Charlie. So upset. It was in the end, it was just asking that a little bit too much on the curb. And how much do we see that in any form of motorcycle racing? It's just that little bit more that will always cost you.
It's a very strange thing. You sort of try to push in areas that you're strongest at, and that's where you're most punished. So, yeah, Doctor just push a bit too much into this corner here, clip the curb, and that was all she wrote. And it's not like, I don't think he can. Well, he can obviously make the excuse he started at the back, but by the time he got to a clean air with Henry, he's more enough had the pace to close him down. And if he had stayed on by this point, there might be he'd be within a second of Henry minimum. So. Unfortunately, his one mistake is currently costing him the title by 5 points.
Yeah, it's been a honestly incredible season from Henry. It just going wrong at the Southern 100. I think he's finished on the podium every
something's happened. Hang on, something's happened. I think Henry's gone down.
Oh, Henry's gone down on the penultimate lap of Graham Hill Bend. I don't believe it. We said we needed a mistake. The lag has come into play, I think, there. Or he's crashed twice. What has happened? This championship keeps delivering insane things. And you've just pointed out, you just hit it there while I was explaining it and trying to recall Henry's results. Thanks for that one, Jack. And then just as I was looking at Graham Hill Bend, Henry went down with a lap and a half to go. How has it ended up like this? This championship never fails to surprise. And Ducksworth, he would have been down in the dumps less than a lap ago. And he won't believe what's just happened to him. And neither will Henry. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. And it's a real shame that Henry went down there, because we might have just had a battle to the end for the title. But oh no, it has just flipped on its head for the man on the R1. We were just saying how incredible of a season it's been, and I guarantee you Henry is going to be blaming me for that one. I don't believe what's just gone down there. And if you're Ducksworth now, what do? We've said that about 3 times this race, and now the pendulum swings for one last time, or maybe not.
It's going to be the slowest lap of his life. It's going to be the slowest 1 minute 23 of his life. He's going to be just taking every single corner, dead careful. I'm thinking Henry must have crashed at Paddock Hill, and then obviously he's crashed at Graham Hill.
That is just insane. It's like Leon Haslam crashing at Brands Hatch in 2017. As Ducksworth comes through Hawthorne. That is, I still can't believe it, and Mason won't believe it either. I mean, he'll be very happy to end the season with a 3rd place on that HM Plant Honda. But how about this? We've been paying a lot of attention there to the championship battle, and already wheeling. The very confident Alfie Cox takes his George Wood Photography BMW M1000R around the last corner to take the victory and do the double at Brands Hatch to end the season. What a ride from him. Ducksworth comes around the final corner against all odds, back of the grid, awful sprint race. Everything went wrong until 2 laps to go. Ducksworth is the world champion. What happened? Mason comes home for 3rd, and Henry McCartney won't believe it. He will be devastated. But there it is. Ducksworth is the world champion for 2026. And you just... your heart breaks for Henry, because that realistically was all there for Henry. And what happened? We have to see what happened to him. Oh, a 22-1 though from Alfie Cox. What an incredible fastest lap from him to do the double. Ducksworth is the world champion. He is probably sat back in his seat. I can't imagine the things he's going through right now. Mason Roth, 3rd place. Good ride from him to come for that one. Henry Mack, again, just devastated. Charlie, a good ride for 5th. He's had an up and down season, but he's always been there. And Henry saying the front just went, but a lot of people supporting Ducksworth in the chat. Good to see, but he is your world champion after that one. I mean, he didn't look all too competitive at round 1 on the ZX4, and then he brought home the surprise podium in the main race, and from there it just kept getting up and up and up, and we considered him a championship contender. But what do you make of that, Jack? That was the biggest up and down race I've ever seen.
I can't believe it was all set in stone, and then lap 11 just turned everything upside down 3 times over.
Yeah, I mean, Mason will be happy with that podium, as I said before. Good job from him to claim 4th in the championship. After missing round 1, the Road Racing G made the points count at the Southern 100. And a good few people doing a good job there. Joe got the podium on the Kawasaki in the sprint race. A good job from him. Thank you to all of us for joining along for the ride in our first venture in the season of Ride 6. I mean, what a championship. What a way to start the adventure on Ride 6. And we hope you join us for the next season, which will probably be announced in the next few months. But that was just truly incredible. And well done to Ducksworth, your world champion for MMR6 in 2026. Thank you for joining me from round 2 onwards, Jack Hammer. It was brilliant to have you with us, and of course your expertise and knowledge. And yeah, we're just going to get an interview really quick with Ducksworth. He's joined the Commentary Box channel. If you're all right with that, Ducksworth, I can imagine that you were absolutely down in the dumps on lap 10, going into lap 11 even, and then the world turned upside down in your favour. That was just an unbelievable race. You said to me before, what more do I need to do to win? Maybe you didn't win the race, but the championship is yours. How was that one?
Pray and hope, man. Pray and hope. I don't know when it was, but I think I crashed once. And then after that, I was just locked in. Like, nothing mattered, and I was just pinpoint accuracy. And then I was like, that's the most I can do. As long as I keep doing this lap time, I can't do anything more, can I? So...
No, and that pace was absolutely electric.
Yeah.
I mean, we were watching you. It was just point to point from that point on. I think it was lap 3 that you went down, going up the inside of Charlie, aka Bob Rang. That was unfortunate. Just a little bit too much curb, probably just thinking that you had to climb through the grid. But against all odds, a difficult sprint, a really difficult sprint. In fact, you messaged me saying, what more do I need to do to win? As I said before, yeah, that was just unbelievable. And you have to feel for Henry. It all went wrong for at the end there. We thought it was a done deal, but it looks like that Yamaha decided to bite him in the back one more time.
Yeah, me and Henry have been, what was it, since round
1, really?
Well, I think it was round 2, maybe. It started to get a bit more competitive. But since then, it's just been back and forth. He's been first in the lead and like the championship, and then it was me, and then it's him, and it's all down to one more lap and one more corner and whatever else.
Yeah, I mean, well, there you are, the world champion. That was just incredible, and hopefully you'll be back for next season with the number 1 on the front of your bike. Well done, mate. Absolutely fantastic, and an incredible turn of events. Well done for that season, and yeah. That's about it. I mean, I think we're going to get Henry on just to hear his words. Hopefully he'll be... Wait, is he able to join the Commentary Box channel? I think he can't, so we'll just move over to the general chat.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, just while we wait for him to join, Jack, I mean, Ducksworth was world champion. He didn't sound all too gassed about it. Probably just relieved.
I mean, I've been the same. To be honest, it's weird. I think, especially in the initial stage, it's very easy to just not sink in at all.
All right then, Henry, we are with the man second in this championship. It looked set all the way in until the penultimate lap, and it just went completely wrong. It is a real shame, but nonetheless, it was an absolutely fantastic season, and even up until now, if it ended up on drawed points, it would have gone to you on countback. So, yeah, what's your words on that one, if there any?
Well, a bit disappointed, to say the least. First crash was my fault. Into Paddock Hill, just clipped the curb. And then the second one, I'm not too sure what happened. It was bit of a bug, like the front end washed out. But happy for Ducksworth that he's won it, and we learn from these things and we try again.
Yeah, of course, and hopefully you'll be back for next season. And if we're not back for next season by the time the BSB Championship starts, good luck on your adventure in the British Talent Cup.
Thank you for that, and yeah, I'll definitely be back for season 2, doing as many rounds as I can.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, well done for this season. Absolutely fantastic. The most race wins of anyone, and just lost out on the title. And you'll definitely be in it to win it next season. Thank you for racing, and thank you for coming on for this interview.
Thank you.
Yeah, cheers. And now I think we're going to get Alfie on for that double win. That was absolutely incredible from him. It was such a shame that he wasn't able to make it to the previous round at Cadwell Park, because he would have definitely been in this fight. I'm just trying to message him. And see if we can get him on. I still can't believe that. That was just insane. And I'm just going to stop talking about it now, because the amount of times I've just said over and over again how crazy that was. I think, yeah, Alfie's just come online on Discord now, so I think we might be able to get him on for an interview if he is available. I mean, that, Jack, let's talk about Alfie, actually. That was just incredible for him to come out the door swinging like that and take advantage of the championship battle and do the double as dominantly as he did on that BMW M1000RR.
Yeah, it was incredible. Every single lap apart from the last one, which was due to celebrations, was in the 22. So he was the fastest rider, he was the most consistent rider, and when you're like that, it's very difficult to beat. So he top marks for him, because he sort of just did his own thing and showed his talents and speed.
Yeah, and right on cue, your double race winner and third in the championship. Alfie, an absolutely incredible ride from you tonight, and it is a real shame that you couldn't make Cadwell last time out, because you would have definitely been in the title fight for this one. Yeah, how do you wrap up that season finishing third? You've been up at the sharp end every single race, but probably I can't think of a better way to end the season. Oh, I don't think... can we hear him? I don't think we can hear you there, Alfie. No, I think he's having some microphone issues. Can you hear him, Jack?
If you're on Xbox, leave the channel and come back in. It might be a bug.
I think he's on mobile.
Okay.
Oh, he's left. I think he's going to try and rejoin. Hello? No, he's having some issues here. Have you allowed microphone access on your phone for Discord?
Yeah, I've just done that.
There we go. Boom. All right then. Yeah, as I said, Alfie, that was an absolutely fantastic way to end the season. A bit of a shame that you couldn't make the championship fight having missed Cadwell Park, but nonetheless it was a very good season. You're always up at the sharp end right from round one on the ZX4s, bringing us the absolute best of the action. A brilliant last lap in the sprint between you and Henry, and a dominant performance all laps, as Jack just said, in the 22s bar the last one, due to your most confident wheelies heading up to the last corner. How was that to end the season, and how was the season?
Yeah, season was good overall. I had some struggles on the baggers, and sub 100 was all right, but I think I came into Brands not expecting much. But I think overall it was very, very good weekend.
Well done, Alfie. That was an absolutely fantastic double from you, and hopefully you'll be back for, well, I imagine, because you're the organiser, you'll be back for next season whenever that is, and well done on third in the championship. I'm sure you'll be much more toward the sharp end consistently, fixing those issues that you had with the baggers and at the Southern 100. Thank you very much to all the viewers for joining us, from me, Alfie, and Jack, and make sure you're there for next season. That's it for MMR6 for Season 1. What a way to end it, and let's hope it